Welcome, everybody, to Intensity Broadcasting. I'm Joe Wright, and I'm joined tonight by Dave Wright in the Bo Hongley studio with Intensity Broadcasting Monday Night Mayhem series. Dean Qualley, your points leader, D. Wright. What else you got for us here?
Yeah, man, gonna be some exciting action here. We're at SOBO for 100 laps. It's a night race. We are in the wheel and modifieds, and it is the second round of the playoffs. As you said, Joe, we're getting down to the finale. It's just this race tonight, and then next week in Michigan in the ARCA cars for 65 laps, and we will wrap up this season, which has been exciting stuff so far.
Yeah, for sure, D. Wright. It's been a wild season, and we're going to move this whole thing over to the ARCA cars next season, which is quite exciting as well.
Yeah, that series is packed with over 30 drivers, 8 different teams, all hosting at least 3 or 4 different drivers on there. I'll be running in that as well. I know you'll be in the booth calling that, so that should be really, really cool action. The schedule is out for that. Looks awesome as well. So
Yeah,
that starts up the 6th of December.
pretty sure Eddie Morris is going to jump in the booth with me here and there when he can. And so look out for him and anybody else who wants to get into this whole broadcasting thing. Hit us up on Facebook at Intensity Broadcasting, and we'll get you set up and working with us. We're always looking for broadcasters and people with a talent for doing it or a desire to do it. So check it out. All right, and D. Wright, who we got like big movers this season? I mean, Brady Floyd was there early in the season. He's dropped to 13th. Jacob Bowen was early in the season. He's dropped to 11th. But Dean Qualley, Mr. Consistency at the top of the board. Dylan Dunford gets his first win last week, D. And now he's in P2. Who's going to be P1 at the end of this race?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Lee Kraus was definitely fast in qualifying. In practice rather. Atmed Weiss was fast in practice. Tyler Aspinall has been fast every week. So it'll be interesting to see who finishes at the top at the front here. Obviously, it's a short track in these wheel and modifieds. We've talked about it a couple of different times. When they have raced these vehicles, they're a little bit different to get used to than the street stocks or the ARCA cars, just to them being pretty much open wheels. So
Yeah.
offset and on the steering wheel or on the steering seat, so to speak. So it's very different.
And Eddie Morris, early in practice, having one of the faster laps as well, same as Dean Qualley. Tyler Aspinall, let's watch out for him. And, Eddie did well in these at Bristol, so we'll see if he can repeat his performance here at SOBO.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. And I haven't run these cars. I ran them a little bit in a hosted practice session a couple weeks ago. But do they only have 2 gears? Is that
They do, yep.
always everywhere?
Yep.
Yeah.
And here's that man, Liberty University's own. The 78 machine. As you said, second fastest in practice, a little squirrely on his out lap. Just getting them things warmed up. And Dave Atman has a really good friend who drives these in real life down at Langley, so he's familiar with the car itself and the way it should act as he loops it around. Let's check out Tyler Aspinall. Tyler looking real good off the corner there. We'll see what he can do here coming to the line. And Aspinall to P2, Kraus to first.
Rouse absolutely spun it coming across the start-finish line there, Joe, and took the pole position, but
able to
put
get
it in the
across the
wall right
line.
after.
Able to
Yeah.
get across the line first. That's what matters. Atman's currently going to be 6th. We'll see who else takes a ride. Look at that. Eddie Morris in the Bo Hongley hot rod. And like I said, we're in the Bo Hongley studio here in Virginia, D. Wright. That 8 car heading out on track. See what Eddie can do. I know Eddie felt real good early on. Eddie to P4 on his first lap. Usually that second lap's just a tidbit faster. We'll see if he can get it around, because he knows he can push it a little bit now. And not able to improve on his second lap. Tony Richardson. See if he can improve on his second lap. All right, here's Dean Qualley as he gets them tires warmed up. A little touch of the wall there for Dean Qualley as we go to the gyro cam. You see a little bit of banking here, not much at SOBO. Dean Qualley's super loose off, 15.17 on his first lap. And improves to a 14.68. He's going to knock Atman Weiss down to 9th. The only people left now are Brandon Richardson, and
Danny Stagner and Dustin Buck.
I don't see Dustin Buck in the grid there, D. Right?
He had just joined the session. I don't know if he'll get in time, but we will see.
All right. We'll be right back. All right, D. Right, we're back.
Yep.
And I think that's going to pretty much set the field. That you did say Dustin Buck got into the session, but I don't know if there's enough time left for him. What you got for time left in the session?
We have 0 time left in the session, and the grid is here, so...
Perfect. As these hot rods line up on the front stretch here at South Boston Speedway for the Southern 100. Your pole sitter, and one of the guys, Dave, that's been, being consistent all season long again, Lee Krause, taking that pole position. Pretty good stuff there from Lee.
Yeah,
Tyler,
we was the fastest in practice, Joe, and continued right on into qualifying with that as well.
So setting that stamp as the man to beat here tonight. Tyler Aspinall in the 45 is going to start on his outside. We've seen him up there all season long, competing for wins. Starting P3 is going to be Dylan Dunford, who has not gridded yet. Next to him on the outside will be Eddie Morris in the 8 machine.
P5, luckily for him, we're on a short track and no need to side draft tonight, is Mick Olafson. In the 6th spot is Rowdy Tony Richardson in the 51 machine. Going off 7th is going to be DJ Thomas from Adrian, Michigan. And 8th is going to be Dean Qualley in the 17 machine.
Starting 7th is going to be the 78 machine of Atman Weiss. Outside of him, in that iRacing basic, Dustin Buck. 11th will be Daniel Stagner, and rounding out your field will be Brandon Richardson in the 12th spot. The cars are fired, and we should be rolling here momentarily. It'll be about 2 laps of pace action, and then that pace car will take a hard left, and we'll be racing here, D. Right?
That we will. And we were able to get Dustin Buck and Danny Stagner in there, Joe.
Perfect. Uh-oh. All right, here they go. One more time around, and the pace car will dip off. And they're racing. And already one into the wall. I think that was Tyler Aspinall right off the bat. A little clap of the wall, but able to get it going straight again.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with our cameraman there. It looks like he having a little stroke and lost the lens.
And he actually was able to clear Lee Krause into turn 2 on the second lap here. And the camera angles here are just terrible. He is struggling.
Yeah, it looked like Tyler slammed the door there a little bit, Joe, because Lee was definitely gaining on him and is gaining on him again. So we'll see how this race transpires for the two of them. Pretty competitive up front so far. Caution is out. Our first one of the evening, lap 4.
We are
Not
having
sure who was
some
involved there,
serious
Joe.
technical difficulties with this HUD here. Let's while they're under caution, D, right? Let's go look at it real quick. But it looks like it was Daniel Stagner jumping to pits there. Not sure what happened to him, and the 51 as well. Ooh. 51 coming back across the track there, Dave. After what looks like just loose off and into the inside wall.
Yeah, and SOBO, a lot like Bristol of its little bit bigger counterpart, but reaction time for Daniel there coming off.
For sure. All right, we got it good now. And back to the race.
Lights are off on the pace car.
Tyler Aspinall getting a good jump over Lee Kraus at the beginning of this run as well, D-Right. And that's going to allow for him to start to step out and away from these guys here. And there's a good look back from Tyler Aspinall's hot rod. Lee Kraus giving chase. Eddie Morris down below, behind him for third. Eddie Morris scooting into third underneath that Ford machine of Dylan Dunford.
Yeah, all the usual suspects up front so far, Joe. The two directly out front, as we've talked about earlier and briefly, very competitive so far. He's not letting him get away.
Tyler Aspinall still working hard here up front. As we go to our blimp view, you can see the difference in the lines between Kraus and Tyler Aspinall here. Kraus with a higher entry there, Dave, a diamond off. Tyler with a low entry, high off. So that's the difference between the two right now. You see Lee getting way down off the corner. Not able to get the run he wants off the corner, though, as Tyler drives away from him.
Yeah, we'll see how both of those develop as the runs go on, too, and the track starts to cool down as this is a night race. So we'll see, and some rubber gets laid down as well.
And Eddie Morris still back there battling with Dylan Dunford. We'll go inside Dunford for a second and see what he's got going on inside the cockpit. Looks like they're fighting tight, D-Right.
Yeah, only one extra set of tires out there, too, Joe. So long runs on these set of tires. We're not even halfway through what would be halfway. So.
Oh, another wreck. Yellow flag is out.
Yeah, you hear a lot of the wall there. Excellent shot by the cameraman there.
The cameras here are terrible. Oh, man.
I believe that was Rowdy again.
Oh. Actually, looks like Atman getting into the 29 here, D, right?
Yeah.
Atman not getting any room down there on that bottom. Definitely comes off the bottom line, gets into the 29, and then trouble ensues from there. Let's go on board with the 68 of Dustin Buck and see what happened from his standpoint.
On board whoever's in front of him, Joe.
Just nowhere to go. I think that was Dean Qualley.
Dean should have a good look at it. Yeah, man, getting in there a little hot.
Dean able to actually do some pretty good evasive maneuvering to stay clear of that thing. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your leader still Tyler Aspinall. Lee Kraus second, Eddie Morris P3, Dylan Dunford fourth, and Mick Olafsson running at your top five. SOBO, one of the older tracks on the iRacing service, probably part of the reason that they're camera angles are terrible. When you start off in the Legends, back when I started 10 years ago, you had to start with those. Here at SOBO. They didn't really have a big schedule. It was like 3 tracks. Much different now. That's for sure.
That it is.
Tyler Aspinall, green for him. Green flag is out. Lee Krause gonna dip in behind him. Eddie's still battling back there with Dylan Dunford.
Yeah, those guys got a very good battle going on right now, side by side. Since the restart, no one wanting to give an inch. And there's some history between those two at short tracks, Joe, in these cars.
You don't say. Good look from the front tire of Eddie Morris. No pressure from behind for him. Not yet anyway, but those boys, look at they're coming. Look back from Tyler Aspinall now. Dean Qualley got guys all over his bumper. DJ Thomas and Dustin Buck, the likes of. Everybody just kind of running the different line. Tyler and Lee going at it again. From the front bumper of Lee Krause. Lee with a little bit underneath here, Tyler. Tyler gonna give it to him. Lee led that lap, Dave. Tyler gonna go away quietly. Not quite likely.
And Joe, Tyler had led most all the race outside of the first couple laps. I think Lee might have beat him lap 1, 2, but Tyler made a pass for the lead and has led consistently from them. So, like I said a couple different times tonight, very competitive between those two up front. They've seemed to separate it a little bit, although Dylan Dunford is there now as well.
We talk about Tyler all the time, usually fast early in runs, but a little bit of abusive to the wear on the tires. So, and you can see there he's really wheeling that thing to get it into the corner and get back to Lee, but we've also seen him come and go too. Maybe he was being a little bit smarter tonight. Maybe he was like, I don't want to race my tires off this thing. It's a long race. We got time. So we'll see what happens here.
And lap 44, as we're nearly approaching halfway, it's Lee Krause, Tyler Aspinall, Dylan Dunford, Mick Olafson, and Dean Qualley rounding out the top 5. We move down to Eddie Morris, DJ Thomas, and Dustin Buck are the only remaining cars on the lead lap through top 8. Brandon Richardson, Tony Richardson, Atlee Weiss, and Daniel Stagner all at least a lap down, with Atlee being 2 and Stagner 5 right now.
And that stems from that accident, Dave. Those guys getting pit road, getting tires, and fixing their vehicles. So we are still green flag action here. 47 of 100 laps. And that's like a spectator view you would see here at SOBO. If you went and watched it in real life, maybe a little bit above that. Eddie Morris kind of dropping through the field here, Dave. Down 2 positions from the start, down to 6. Dean Qualley, your biggest mover, +3. Oh, we got another yellow flag.
A caution, yeah. See who that was that got tied up.
'54 gets into the outside wall. That's what it looked like from that view. See what it looks like from this. So looks like the 54 just got a little bit of the wall and slowed him up. Yep, right there. And then they get into each other, and that makes the 54 sideways on entry into the 29. Atlee squeezes by on the outside. Probably not going to get the lucky dog on that account as well, D, right?
Yeah, I don't believe that he will. I think Tony got it. Tony was in front of him anyway, so.
Lee Krause still your leader. Will they hit pit road here for tires?
I gotta think the whole field hits pit road here, Joe. We shall see. Does not look that way. No one willing to give up that track position for some tires.
A lot of people hitting pit road. Eddie Morris on pit road. Dustin Buck on pit road. Yep. There's Eddie right there. The 51 of Rowdy Richardson behind him, and Dustin Buck as well. We'll see if Eddie goes a lap down here. I think it's pretty easy to do, D-Right. He's going to get out way in time. There goes Dustin Buck as well. And here comes the field. 51 is not going to make it out. All right, D-Right. We're, what? 54 laps into this thing, just over halfway, and the leaders don't hit pit road, but the 7th and 8th position guys do. They got nothing to lose, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
could be the race winner.
Yeah.
As they get ready side by side, Lee Krause with a decent jump. Oh, we're wrecking behind him.
Who was that?
Dean Qualley. Dean Qualley hard into the wall. Oh, the 54 hard into the 17 and into the inside wall. That's 2 now in a row for the 54 getting into somebody. Dean, I'm sure not stoked with that. Looked like a little bit of tire spin, Dave.
Yeah. I think that's definitely what happened here. Again, we kind of talked about it too. We only seen a couple cars hit pit road to grab tires. These guys are on 54 lap old tires, gunning it on the restart there. We see a couple spins. You see almost all those cars up front, Joe, take little wiggles left to right.
Dean Qualley on pit road. He's going to beat the pace car out as well.
That may be a blessing in disguise for Dean.
Eddie Morris hit pit road again there, Dave, right?
don't know if he took any damage on that. He was caught up on the low line there, so he may had to hit it and take his fastie.
Maybe just a fuel thing.
I don't think so. I think they're probably pretty good on fuel, especially at this point, especially Eddie had just pitted. I mean, based on Lee's behavior and the field, I don't know that they have to pit at all for fuel, Joe.
And Dustin Buck back on pit road.
Got to think you would do it under yellow midway through, if it was even a thought.
You're right. As the field double files up, we're going to get back racing this time by. Lights on the pace car are off.
Lee Krause, Tyler Aspinall, Dylan Dunford, Mick Olafson, and DJ Thomas, the top 5, Joe.
Lee with a great start again, Dave. This time, Dylan Dunford underneath Tyler Aspinall into turns 1 and 2. Can he make it stick? So far, so good for Dylan Dunford. As they race each other down into turn 1 again. This is what Lee wants to see behind him, though, I'll tell you that. Dylan not able to make it work. Clear for Tyler Aspinall. Not quite. Dylan Dunford fights back. Oh, Mick into the back of him. Look at who's in the picture, D-Right.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to think that Eddie's got to be getting off the corners and into the corners a little bit better than the rest of the field. Lee Krause just setting sail, though, Dave. The longer it takes Eddie to get through there, the longer it's going to take for him to catch him. And we're already down to 35 laps remaining here at SOBO.
Yeah, Lee out just running his line. Doesn't have anybody in front of him to break it whatsoever. So, and putting some gap almost up to a second between Tyler in second spot. So.
And all the dirt watching on the broadcast there says it's unlimited tires, and he is correct. Tonight they are unlimited. Well, that makes it even more interesting, Dave. Why nobody hit in pit road there to get him.
You know what it might be is not. That kind of jogs my memory, Joe. This is the tire wear on these unlimited. Or is like there's no tire model?
I'm not sure. Now that you just said that, I have to do my pre-race research on that. You know who would know?
Y'all.
Josh, y'all. So I thought Lee was starting to drive away from these guys, but I think they're starting to close the distance now, Dave. Tyler Aspinall down under a second again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the fact that those four are in line or what the real reason is here, but Eddie looking outside now of McLaughlin as he didn't have nothing going on the inside there. To the inside he goes. Let's see what Mick does here. Eddie a little loose on the apron. Mick, just get out
Dumford's
of the
all
way.
over. Dumford is all over Tyler too, Joe. Like majorly slowing up. He just got into the back of him.
I got to it right in time to see
Yeah,
him.
those two are racing pretty hard here, and looks to me as though the Ford is definitely faster. We shall see how this develops.
$23 laps to go. Make that, yeah, 23. And Dunford, like you said, getting better through the middle of the corner, Dave, but Tyler better off. But he's also driving it in way too deep. Whoa, that was a wild move by Dylan Dunford to hit the inside line like that. And he's there now, though.
Yes, he is. The 8 is creeping back there as well.
The 8 just trying to close that gap.
Pretty cool to see the inside of the rotors light up there too on those, Joe, as they're headed into the corner.
Tyler now looking back underneath Dunford. Oh, I heard somebody hitting the wall.
Lee out to almost 2 seconds now, loving the racing going on in his rear view. These guys battling pretty hard for second, third, and fourth.
Speaking of glowing, you can see it from inside the car here, Dave. And they kind of go away during the straightaway, but when he's on the brake, you can definitely see it. It's pretty cool. This is a look back from from Dylan Dunford. Look at that, Eddie Morris making a move on Tyler Aspinall. Not there. Tyler really starting to fade a little bit here, Dave, in this late run.
And lead back to under 2 seconds now as you see those guys behind him, to your point, start to single file out and not race each other too hard.
And actually, Dunford closing the gap fast, Dave, almost a 10th a lap.
Yeah, Eddie and Tyler really battling right now.
Yeah. Eddie was a bit loose off that last corner. Let's look at that battle now. Eddie there. Tyler kind of chopping him a little bit. Eddie clearly faster. Might have to make a little move here. Let him know.
Similar battle waging with Mick and Dean Qualley for 5th and 6th spot.
This is a podium spot here, D.
Battles all over the track right now, Joe. And the caution is out.
Tyler Aspinall around on a count of Eddie Morris. All right, let's go back and look at that one. Eddie gave him a 4 or 5 bumps, letting him know. Collects the 2. Nobody else getting collected, I don't think. Oh, then Tyler just drives into the side of cars, trying to get back to Eddie there. Seems as though he may have been a little upset with Eddie.
Yeah, I don't know. But we're getting down to the end here, Joe. Patience is thinning. Second race to the end of the season. 6 laps left in the race. By the time we get through here, we will be almost GWC. So this is going to be an interesting finish.
Allie just got his lap back. Well, that's good news for Atman.
That it is. He'll still need another to get back on the lead lap, but again, we still got some race left. And as I was just saying, patients are starting to wear thin here, so cautions may not be out of the possibility.
Tyler Aspinall hitting pit road after that little incident. Right sides go up. Just right sides for Aspinall. Weiss on pit road. Richardson as well. Dustin Buck hitting pit road again after having some damage there late in that incident there. Next time you come to town, Dave, we'll have to take you down to Langley and go check these guys out. These are fun cars to watch race.
Only one person did not like to see that caution. Lee Krause was setting sail out, as we had talked about, Joe, almost 2-second lead. Dylan Dunford's going to have his shot at him here, as well as Eddie and Dean still in there. Don't rule out the 77 of Mick Olofsson hanging around all night as the green flag drops.
Is there a look at your top three? Dylan Dunford putting that pressure on. 3 laps to go. Make that 2 now. Either got to be this lap or the next lap. For both him and Eddie if they want to win this thing. Eddie out of the throttle there. Final lap. One more time around. Lee Krause in dominant fashion right now, Dave. What is Dylan going to do? He's not going to wreck him. He's just going to settle for second. Eddie Morris with third. Lee Krause, your winner. Boom goes the fireworks.
Wow, that was an exciting finish there, Joe. Pretty exciting race, too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. All right. Let's see if we can dial up our top 3. Eddie Morris, it's Joe and Dave in the booth. You got us?
Hey, man, how's it going?
I'm sorry, I just snatched you out your room. But, man,
It's all good, man.
I'll tell you what. Moving Tyler out of the way and get yourself that podium, how'd it feel?
I mean, honestly, I didn't mean to move him out of the way. I mean, but you're throwing stupid blocks within the last 10 laps of the race. You know, I understand you're trying to keep third, but, bro, you can't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can only block so much before somebody's going to say, you know what, I'm faster than you, get the hell out of the way. If you can't get the point after a couple bumps, what happens is what happens. You know, he wants to come at me and say, oh, well, good luck next week. Well, he's in it for a championship, so if he wants to mess with the bull, he'll get the horns. So, but other than that, man, how's you guys doing? How's it going?
We're doing well, Eddie. To your point, it was some exciting action. Patience wearing thin there at the end. We were following that action specifically. Joe had commented on him cutting the nose a little bit. We seen it with Dylan before, because he got to him before you did. Dylan was able to give him the chrome a little bit and get by him. So definitely seen that coming down towards the end and some competitiveness battling for the championship. But another solid finish for yourself, seeing the podium. Started 4th, pretty consistent run all night, kind of hanging around. Talk to us about kind of the overall performance outside of the run-in with Tyler.
I mean, overall, it's pretty good, man. I had some fresh tires there, and You know, I clearly thought I might have had something for the leaders. Shout out to Lee for the win there. It was pretty good racing. He was pretty quick, man. And I don't know, a couple of those restarts, I think if I could have got a little better track position there and not being caught on the outside and been able to run my line, I think I'd have been able to hang up front a little more. But man, whenever Tyler, his caution came out, I didn't really want to see that, being on freshies, and I wanted to run Lee down, and I felt like I could possibly do that. But who
Yeah, you
knows?
definitely lost some laps there because of the caution and such from getting to him.
Yep.
So yeah, for sure. All right, anybody want to thank before you let you go?
Intensity Broadcasting, man, the best broadcasters in the business. Shout out to the people that let me do this. Morris Customs. I got to get on them boys. They need to get me a paint for the wheeling tour here.
Yeah, they
do. Nah, man, just shout out to Lee. Good run for Dylan in second. I don't know, man. I'm getting interviewed by you guys more often, and I'm supposed to be one of those back running cars. I guess that's what they were saying earlier when I won my win at Bristol. So who knows? It's
Well,
nice
the
being
more
up here.
you talk to us, the better you'll feel, and that just proves that you're just getting better and better week by week. So good job, Eddie.
Yeah. Shout out to those guys.
All right, man. Dylan Dunford. You got Joe and Dave in the booth. You got us.
Hey, what's up, guys?
You use that little chrome horn a little bit, as Dave would call it. Moved Tyler up the track just enough to get up underneath of him and make the pass. Get yourself into that second spot for that final run. Did you have anything for Lee? Had you had a couple more laps?
Man, I don't know. Maybe. He was just lights out all night long. I don't know. I don't think I really had anything for him. This is by far probably my least favorite car on the sim, so I'll take a second.
Hey man, another awesome run, Dylan. Dean actually finished 8th there, so back end of the lead lap, and he was the leader coming into points tonight. So I believe it's going to be pretty tight between yourself and Lee up front, as you were only 3 points behind Dean and we're clear of Lee by 10, but Lee getting the win here. What's your thoughts as we roll into the season finale at Michigan in the ARCA cars?
Yeah, I'm definitely glad the season's ending with the ARCA car. I love that car. Michigan's always fun there. I think you're going to see, 4 or 5 wide, and I guess we'll see what we got there at the end.
Yep, for sure. Michigan, always a great place to watch a race here on the iRacing Sim. Anybody you want to thank, Dylan, before we let you roll out and get in leave with here?
Yeah, man, as always, I'd like to thank my wife. Thank y'all for broadcasting, and Dean, everybody for running this league, and shout out to the boys over at SCR.
And now, are you running the ARCA series next season on Monday nights?
Yep.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to go out there and defend your old iOS ARCA Pro Champion title.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her hell.
There you go. All right, Dylan. Take care, bud.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
And last but certainly not least, Lee Krause in the house with the
Hey,
win
mister.
in dominant fashion all night long. You had a little bit of tussle with Tyler Aspinall early on, but he faded. He ran his stuff off, and you drove away.
Yeah, to start the race, I knew he kind of took off. I was being super nice there on the start. He got me on the outside, and I just knew. I looked at everybody else's laps. Nobody else ran more than 20 lap run, and I had done a bunch of practice this week because I really wanted to win this race. So I knew that after a bit, Ty was going to start falling off, and definitely just being patient and waiting for him to come back to me paid off.
Yeah, you mentioned the practice, Lee. I think it definitely paid off. An absolute clinic tonight. You talked about Tyler leading the beginning, but you never really let him get away. You were lurking the whole time. What were your thoughts coming into that last caution? Did you think potentially Dylan had something for you on the green-white checker?
Actually, I'll be honest with you. I thought it was Eddie. Eddie had come down, and I'd seen him pit a couple times, and I was like, he's got tires, and I figured he was going to come and get me. But I knew if I took off early on the restarts there that I could get at least a gap, and if I held my line, then I'd be able to hold it. I screwed myself up though. I put a little bit of rear brake into the car over that last caution, and then I went into the first corner and it wouldn't hold the bottom anymore. So it was yeah, almost screwed myself out of that one.
So yeah, I mean, if you had about 20 more laps, you might have had some company from Dylan and Eddie. They looked like they were pretty fast and giving you a little bit of room there at the end. But definitely a great run, Lee. Anybody you want to thank?
As per usual, just got to thank my wife for giving me time to play on a Monday night here. I'm really enjoying this league. This has been a lot of fun. Really wanted to take a shot at this title, and unfortunately with that last lap incident, I think we gained a few points back into the play. Want to thank you guys. You guys, your broadcasts are phenomenal. I love hearing you guys talk about different things going on. I wanted to give you a hard time telling you that anytime you hear somebody hit the wall, it's usually me. And definitely want to thank Dean Qualley for putting this on. You know, he's done a great job with this, and looking forward to the ARCA season 2. And yeah, no, it's been fun, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, so I think maybe Dylan will be in first. You might be in the mix for second or third, and or maybe sticking right in fourth. So you still have a shot at this thing next week, Lee. Don't count yourself out just yet.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to go out and do some practicing at Michigan here in the next week, and get ready for that one, and figure out how to save my tires, because I have a feeling we'll probably go green for a bit. So it'll be a good one.
Absolutely. Well, good luck next week. We'll see you then.
So thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Later. All right, D-Right. Wheel and Modifieds from SOBO. 100 laps. A little bit of action, a little bit of intensity, I'd say, toward the end of that thing. What do you think?
Yeah, we seen the bully Eddie, the short track Chico, Razor Ramon, the bad guy, come out again using the Krone bumper, this time with Tyler. But again, it was some good action, Joe. We seen just a few cautions, not too many for 100 laps. That's such a short track. And the usual suspects for the most part up front. It should set up for an awesome finish to the season next week in Michigan. We'll be here on Monday night and excited for it.
Yeah, so if you're watching right now and you'll be around next week on Monday night, come check us out and root on your favorite driver for the championship as we go to Michigan. And that about wraps it up here from the Vohanglace studio in Hayes, Virginia. I've been joined tonight by D. Wright, and I'm Joe Wright for Intensity Broadcast, and his